Hello, everyone. It occurred to me that I have never done a news roundup for Tokusatsu stuff. Despite my obsessions with Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, I've never done anything to kind of talk about all the news coming up about it. But right now, we have a plethora of new stuff coming out and stuff I'm super excited for. So I absolutely want to do some talking on this subject. Also, it's something that I can do relatively quickly because last night my power kept blipping out. So the video I had planned today didn't actually happen. So bear with me. It's been a trying 24 hours. But let's actually talk about some toys. Oh my god, this is looking so good already. We have the belt for Kamen Rider Geats. It is the DX Desire Driver. Appropriate name, because I want this so bad. Oh man, I've not seen one stitch of footage for Kamen Rider Geats yet, and already I am completely all in on this series. I love everything I've seen so far. So, for those who have not seen it, our basic DX Desire Driver comes with the following. You get the core belt itself. You get two gimmick items called buckles. I mean, it's a belt toy. It's about time the gimmick was buckles. You also get a third, which is a smaller one, and then the rider core, which is how it's going to designate different riders in the series. Supposedly, 8 or so riders are going to be using this belt design. But because of the way this belt works, it can basically reshell itself on both sides and in the center. It's going to come across like a completely different driver every single time. That's actually a really fascinating approach. And it's going to add so much variety. Oh, I have nothing but thoughts and prayers to anyone, because I know collectors like this who need to have every rider belt represented, and you're going to end up buying this belt like 8 times. You're going to have like 7 leftover Boost and Magnum buckles, and it's just going to be your life to make sure you have like all 8 on display. But I do love how ingenious this is. Like, all the belts are going to look the same, but they're going to be vastly different from each other at the same time, which is going to solve the problem that Bandai has had lately where there's just too many belts. Trying to make a unique belt for so many different riders, this is going to solve that. Like, this is like the most modular belt I've ever seen. It's going to be a lot of fun to mess with, and functionally, it's super impressive. They are boasting that right out of the box, you have 10 different configurations for this belt. That's super impressive. Now, the small buckle can only fit on the left side. It can only become the top side of a rider. The way it was described to me, and this makes absolute sense, if this is inspired by Battle Royale games, your smaller buckles are going to be your basic weaponry. Pistols, your gray shotgun, nothing too terrible. It's these big buckles with all these different design elements to them that are going to be like your heavy hitters, your rocket launcher, your sniper rifle. It's going to be the main stuff. And I love how it works. It works similar to how the Forza driver works, where all of them have a different activation method. The smaller ones don't seem to. They seem to just be plug and play. But you'll notice that, we'll go back one so you can see them bigger. You'll see the Magnum side has a trigger like a gun in order to activate it, but on the other side you have like an actual throttle that you can twist, and that's cool. Every one of these big buckles should have its own unique method of activation, so all of them are also going to feel different to play with. You see how like modular is getting me like super excited here? Between 2 sides and the rider core, you can do so much. I'm already like itching at the thought of 3D printing my own rider core and just having my TJOmega logo in there. I'm going to do it. So let's see even more functionality to this belt. Here you see all the different connection points and how you build this belt. But notice the bottom right image. You notice the yellow, those yellow arrows going around? This belt also turns. Like the ZO driver, it can actually rotate on its buckle. So you don't even have to like undo the sides and like switch them around and then redo them in order to switch sides. No, you just rotate the driver. That's super cool. Oh my god, this thing is going to do so much right out of the box. This thing's going to do so much right out of the box. This is so cool. I love this. I absolutely love this. Yeah, see, okay, so more examples, this time with the Magnum and how it all works. Magnum works on both sides, of course. All of them, except for the little ones, work on both sides. There's also, like, a bigger DX set. I can't remember if I saved a photo of it or not. But there is a bigger DX set that also comes with the zombie buckle. And that is for Kamen Rider Buffa, which is Buffalo-based. It also comes with his core as well, so you can switch up the belt to be a completely different rider. And then again, if you have that one, look at all the different combinations just having one more buckle is going to give you. This thing is chaos. This thing is crazy how many things it's going to do. Imagine like all the things you could do with the double driver, and that was with just what was ultimately like 7 memories in the original, like in the original lineup, and how many different things you could do that. If it's just like your basic DXs that could switch with each other, this is going to do even more. This is going to do even more. There's the zombie. There's zombie and Buffa, and you can see like it's got a completely different activation handle. It's got a completely different look. This is revolutionary. This is like so exciting. This is so exciting. I want this set so bad. Goes up for pre-order like mid-August, and apparently he's getting a U.S. release. Don't know how that's going to happen, but they've already announced it. This is going to be available to us gaijin. So, yeah, interesting times. Can we get the show to go with it, Bandai and Toei? Can we actually watch the show you want us to buy toys from? Oh, well, let's move on. Move on to more stuff that we're not supposed to buy, but we do because we're weebs. We have the brand new, like, super form for the Robo and Don Brothers is released. ToraDora OniTaiJin. I still can't remember it correctly, so don't ask me to pronounce it again. So we have not only the 6th Ranger mech being added into an already amazing toy design, but also we have the Evil Ranger's mech going through in. Don Muramasa, sorry. Yeah, crazy. It looks like it's going to lose some of the articulation and go back to being a little bit more brickish in the arms. I guess when you're trying to be an independent Zord and then trying the combination gimmick, that's going to happen. But it does mean that going back to the basic Megazord has a benefit. So, and I'm using the term Megazord, and that's because it's hard to program out of me, but you get the idea. It looks super cool. It looks super cool. I love the idea of this set, which is already one of the most impressive mechas I've ever seen out of Super Sentai, is actually going to do something even bigger, and is still going to like have a traditional play pattern and still kind of expanding what it can do. This is looking really, really cool. I'm not necessarily sure I want to get it just yet. I have the base robot. Really love the base Robo. But I've kind of fallen off of Don Brothers. I haven't had the time to keep up with it. So yeah, I have not even caught up to all the new Rangers. But it's cool to see that like we're getting like a really nice looking expansion. So Flame Toys has stuff coming out that also looked really, really cool. They're doing, for starters, they're doing model kits of the Mighty Morphin Rangers. I'm not entirely sure why. They kind of just look like worse versions of Lightning Collection figures, because the joints are a lot more visible and there's noticeable seams where you put them together. I mean, there's definitely a market. It's Mighty Morphin. I can imagine building these is going to get super boring because they're all going to build the exact same way and look basically the same as you build them. So, hats off to anyone who has as it is, like I'm currently sitting on all 3 of the figurized standard double models. And even that, I'm kind of like terrified of getting into because I know that's going to be a little bit of a slog doing 3 model kits that all build exactly the same way. I can't imagine doing it 5 times over, 6 times over, because you know they'll do Green Ranger, 7 times over, because you know they'll do the White Ranger. But yeah, if you need more Mighty Morphin. All assembly required. We'll get back to Flame Toys here in a bit, because we need to talk about them. They're doing something super cool. We'll save that to the end, but hey, look at the Dragonzord. So ZAP has finally done official photos of the new Dragonzord. We see the gold is now in a finalized color. Chrome on the main sections. You would expect chrome, just like the original toy. Gold, paint, and others. Looking absolutely fantastic. I know there's already people who go like, it doesn't look like it does that much. You know, I wish it did more. I wish it was more articulated. The Dragonzord's got a lot to do. It's got 3 different modes it's got to go into. It's got to be compatible with the ZAP Megazord in all 3. Or at least 2 of them. I think it's doing enough. Like, it still looks like one of the best Dragonzords we've ever gotten. I think the Soul of Chogokin is probably going to be the only comparable one, and even that, I might argue. But yeah, he is looking good. I love that he comes with the effect parts for the missile firing. I like that he comes with this tiny little Green Ranger. All of them had little mini Rangers. Green Ranger was barely ever in the cockpit, but if you want him in the cockpit, he is there. And I like that they included that in as a little extra. Let's see, the Mega Dragonzord combination still functions. I want to see up close how exactly this connection point is made, because it looks like he doesn't have like the arm connector things that the original toy does, which means his arms aren't going to be that restricted in this mode, which is good. I really do want to see exactly how it connects out, because can I actually pose my... Can I actually pose it? That would be actually pretty impressive. And then, of course, we have the Dragonzord in battle mode as well. Spear looking fine. If I'm right, it looks like the spear does what I was hoping it would do and only uses a few segments out of the tail instead of trying to adapt the entire tail into that drill, which is a lot cleaner. Does mean you're going to have some excess parts, but hey, that's pretty much par for the course with the Dragonzord. You're going to have that handle left over no matter what you do too. Again, I'm kind of curious how the actual handle here is, how the Dragonzord is actually holding that thing. Hoping it's not just a stick and a handle that's hanging off of it. That's always unfortunate. All right. I want to say my slideshow glitched. So before we get to the last segment, give me 1 second. Yes, it did. So I got to go back to this one. And now we can click the slide. And we can look at the other Flame Toys offering. A little bit small in this image, but I'll give you a few close-up shots too to take it all in. So that super stylized Dino Megazord that we have been seeing for a long time now finally has some colored prototype images, and this thing looks absolutely gorgeous. I love what they've done here. Let me go ahead and give you this shot so we can actually see a little bit more close up. I love the exaggerated design details. It's a very different look for the original Megazord, and it looks absolutely awesome. I love how primal the whole thing feels. The teeth coming out of the chest, the larger horns, the more exaggerated proportions, the tail and the wings. This thing is beautiful. It's a beautiful take on the original Megazord. Absolutely love it. And obviously, the articulation is insane. The fact that this thing separates and combines, but it can still do this level of posing and articulation is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Cannot believe they pulled this off. Yep. You see the full weaponized form there. The sword looking huge. I'm not sure how... I hope this thing is big. For everything it's doing, I hope this is big. Like, really, this is like a marvelous piece of engineering to make all this work. Like, I am super impressed by all this. The tank mode is hilarious to me. So, tank mode Daijujin / Megazord has never been that great, but there's something a little bit extra about it when it's just like, it's the Megazord with the T-Rex head out and just like holding a pair of giant pistols, while a pteranodon rides on his back, or a pterodactyl rather. Pterodactyl with a super long neck this time. And actually, it's a little bit awkward looking, but look at it. It's funny. And then the individual Zords. I do like that the pterodactyl has been changed so much. It definitely gives it a lot more to do. They put a lot more of the pink in there, so it actually looks like it represents the Pink Ranger now. I like that it incorporates the sword as the tail. I think that's actually a pretty good touch. T-Rex is thick, 2 C's thick. There's little weird things. The Mastodon I wish was a little bit beefier, but I can't argue with the end results. It has to be proportionate to the robot mode. I get that. Saber-tooth Tiger is fine. Look at the Triceratops. Our boy has legs. He's evolved now. He's not just a fancy tank anymore. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. This set, the 2 things we found out about the set. 1, Flame Toys has no plans to issue this in Japan. This is an American piece. It's also apparently going to be $400. So this is in the Kurakara Kuri line, or at least it's based on that line, so it's not a kit. It's not one of the kits which would actually make this affordable. No, this is one of their pre-built, like all decked out to the nines figures, and it's carrying a very premium price point. By comparison, you can get the ZAP Megazord and Dragonzord both for less than this set is. I know for a fact this set is smaller. It's unfortunate. This is probably going to be very cost prohibitive to me. Even if I could afford that, I've got better things I can do with $400 than buy a fancy Megazord. And also, this will become a rabbit hole because it wasn't enough for them to actually show this off finally. They also announced a Dragonzord to go with it. Now, in the color render here, he actually looks super cool. I actually really like how he looks here. We have promised that the battle mode is in there. The Mega Dragonzord mode is in there. You can definitely tell that with the longer arms and the more like humanoid proportions, there's definitely some changes to the final combinations. Whether that's a good or bad thing is going to be up to you. But again, this is a set whose primary goal is to do something different, and it's definitely that. There's also a gray prototype, which is not the most flattering. Without the color, it does not look as great as I think it should. I'm also seeing a few weird things, like there's this weird like separation between the neck and the torso that looks a little bit iffy. But it's a good start. I've seen people down on this because it's too humanoid, but also like, weren't we just complaining about a Dragonzord that didn't do enough in ZAP, and now we have this Dragonzord is doing too much, I assume? I don't know. Can't make anyone happy, right? I really like how this is looking so far. And once this is in colors, I think a lot of people are going to be a little bit more interested in it than they might be just now. But yeah, that's the wrap of Tokusatsu toy news that I wanted to talk about. There's so much exciting, cool stuff coming out, guys. Like, especially if you are a Kamen Rider fan. My God, the Revice belt. Revice. Ugh. Get that out of my head. Desire Driver looks so good. Oh my God, my hype is so high right now. Yeah. Looking forward to it. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.